All right, we are live. Thank you for joining me all the way from the other coast, the United States East Coast. A lot of things I can remember about the East Coast. One, if it rains, it rains. It don't play around. It's not like a little light sprinkle like on this side. Ugh. And
Been
the
raining
second,
all day here.
oh yeah, oh yeah, and big drops too, not the small ones that we get over here.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right.
And then I remember the cultural melting pot. It's very similar to the West Coast, but there's so much more natural culture engraved in every single part of the society, and you
It's a
see
fact.
festivals and celebrations of everything, and everyone was
Yeah.
real cool over there. Over here, everyone act like they got the they got hypersensitive feelings over here.
Right, right, right.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
not as aggressive. They a
not
little
as
more relaxed
aggressive.
on the West Coast.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Intellectual and cotton swab backbones and stuff like that. Well, that's just some. That's just some. No,
Right,
it's only a small portion. I shouldn't say that
right.
about where I live. It's not that bad. So why don't you tell me first off, what drove you to joining the military? Was it something that you were inspired as a child, or was it just on the you saw this recruiter in high school and you're like, hey, you know what, this might be for me. Well, what was it that drove you to join?
None of that. I did not have any ambition or calling to serve. The military that was presented to me as an ultimatum. Um, I wasn't the best student or person, so to speak, during my adolescent years. I was a bit of an asshole. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, we
Uh,
cuss it up.
okay. I was not the coolest kid. Trouble background. Long story short. And the Navy was like a path to like distance myself and try to get my life on track.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
I tell used to say it every day when I had sailors under my charge. I would tell them like Navy saved my life, and I meant that then. I still mean it now. Like I know shit, we're probably dead or in someone's prison, like making dog tags or license plates if it were not for the Navy.
Mm.
So grateful for every second of every day in my time in service. Um, but it was the Navy for me was presented as an ultimatum, frankly, that like this is your last chance. Like you gonna get on that bus or you gonna get on this bus? Which bus you want to get on?
Absolutely. I know that.
Why not try something new?
Why not try something new? You know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, making license plates, it doesn't sound too appealing. Like looking back, if
yeah,
I was presented with that, I probably choose the Navy too.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I saw it like I'm gonna get yelled in my face either bus I get on. I might as well
Mhm.
go get paid for it. Like
See the world, three hots in a cot,
yeah, yeah.
four if you stay up late because you got mid rats. I love my mid rats.
Get some mini rats and like who doesn't love a good hot bowl of beef yakisoba every fucking Wednesday
Yeah, 100%, 100%, and Le Cordon half cooked. And don't forget that one.
with the big freezy pop ham chunk in the middle? Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
It's
Inside's
beautiful.
frozen, the outside's microwave.
It's, it's like a white cheddar scoop of ice cream. It was
Oh,
amazing. Loved it. Loved
oh, definitely. So, what was it like your first experiences with the Navy? What are some standouts for you there?
it. Let me see. Uh, Obviously, it was culture shock when I left home. It was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is weird. Some stuff I'd never done before, never seen before, and like everyone's yelling. Like, what the hell? Like,
Hmm.
so that was took some adjustment, but appreciative of that also because excuse me, basic training itself was as it was an experience, a fun experience. Uh, However, I left basic training, did my I was undesignated airman at the time, so I went on my ATD training, got that out the way, and then I got my orders, and I had to fly out because my squadron was already deployed on the Enterprise at the time,
Hmm.
so I had to fly out to Sigonella, Italy, and then after that, I had to fly from Italy into Antalya, Turkey. So I spent like a week and a half in Sigonella, and that was like my first experience. I was like, "What? Like, people are nice? Like, people aren't nice where I'm from,
Hmm.
and I can eat some other than like." fried chicken wings and fried rice. Like this stuff is amazing.
Oh yeah.
So like the cultural like adjustment to a different country, because Italy was like beautiful. Well, Sigonella was beautiful. Um, Left Sig, flew out to Turkey, and that's why I met the ship out there. But I just remember like we got there, then we got shuttled off to like Fleet Landing. When Fleet Landing got on that, the little boat, get shipped out to the ship, the carrier.
Hmm.
And I remember like you couldn't see anything. It was like pitch black for miles and miles. This little dumbass dinghy is like rocking its ass off.
Oh
And
yeah.
then all of a sudden you see this big ass hunk of metal sitting out in the middle of the ocean, anchored out, of course, because it's a carrier. Um, with this excuse me, big ass bright light to say 65 on it. Like I won't ever forget that. Like, and I'm like, it is like increasingly getting bigger as we approach like the horizon. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this is some scary shit. And this is where I'm
Yeah.
gonna live for the next like 7, 8 months, whatever, however long the deployment was. I had to climb up and climb on and all that stuff. And it was like, this is crazy. Like this is home. Like
Hmm.
so that was like my first experience, like real experience with the Navy. Like um back then we were still wearing like the dungarees, the utilities with the bell bottoms.
Oh yeah. Oh
Uh
yeah. Keeping it classic.
yeah. So of course I didn't eat anything at Fleet Landing because I was like, man, I don't know what to do. Like I just see all these people like I'm not sure what's going on. Like world's like spinning around me real fast. But then I get to the ship and I get hungry. I'm like, I'm gonna go down to this food place where I sold food and go get me some food. And then I got my ass chewed because I wouldn't get some food out the galley without my uniform on. I didn't know
Oh
you
yeah.
needed to have a uniform on to go get some food. I'm like, I'm fucking hungry. Like, you think I'm not supposed to be here? Who sneaks on a big ass warship? Like, but
Oh man.
that was like my first experience. I got my ass chewed first night on board for not being in dungarees.
Oh, I think the exact same thing happened to me my first night on board. Obviously the ship was in the yards, and I walked up to it, and I see the big 71 CVN 71 2015 deployment crew. Gotta say it, we were the best. It is what it is.
Absolutely,
Whole lot of
absolutely,
knowledge.
absolutely.
The goat locker was superfluous of just absolutely phenomenal leaders, people who really, really have experienced life and
Yeah,
will tell you exactly what not to do so
yeah,
you don't get your ass in trouble. And
yeah,
it was perfect. It was perfect. But seeing that light, the 71 for the first time really stood out to
yeah,
me because I
yeah.
all I could think about who has to change all them damn light bulbs? Those things are huge, man. Do they don't sell those at Home Depot.
Right, right, right,
So
right.
and then I went down there and there was holes everywhere in the ship because everything was open and
Yeah,
the cold air was coming right into my berthing. It must have been at no more than 20 degrees up in that bitch. And I was
yeah,
freezing. I wore 4 pairs of socks to bed because my toes would almost snap off. It was
yeah,
wild.
yeah. Fun time, man. Fun
Fun
time.
times. Fun times.
Yeah,
So you showed up on the Enterprise
yeah.
and then you moved around to what vessel? What vessel was your favorite out of all of them? Because obviously I'm
Oh,
going to say the
man.
TR because of the people. The people is what really to me makes the Navy. When people say, "Oh fuck the
I'm
Navy,"
sorry, my phone
I
was
feel
ringing.
it like very personal to me because
Yeah,
you're talking about me and the people around us. If you don't
right.
like your leadership, I can understand that there are poor leaders everywhere, and there are
Yeah,
poor leaders at the McDonald's that you could be working at instead of being here, but you're
absolutely.
here. It is
Yeah.
what it is. What was one of your favorite crews?
Favorite cruise. That's tough. So this is gonna be a pretty like vanilla answer, but it's the
Mhm.
truth. Every cruise, with my cruise and my like dirt deployments, everyone was my favorite one for different reasons.
Okay.
I captured some good experiences, phenomenal experiences, unforgettable experiences on every platform. Let me see. And then it's different because you're at a different pay grade at each one of those points in your career. So you experience deployment a little bit different. You get to stay out a little bit later. You get a little bit more latitude to do some things you probably weren't allowed to do previously because you promote, you advance.
Mhm.
Um, that adds to the experience. My last actual deployment was the 2015 TR deployment. You don't know like deployment until you are a Navy chief on board the sexiest warship in the Navy, an aircraft carrier.
Hmm.
Um, life is beautiful. Like life is really beautiful. You work your ass off, but like it's a good life. You down there like on a deck plate, get it done every day. And you might be able like be at each other's throat for like 10 or 15 minutes. Then you're at the table exchanging bread for, breaking bread together
Hmm.
for a child. And then we get to like cross politic and help each other out. Like it's nothing like the camaraderie of a chief's mess on board an aircraft carrier. So that experience, and that was my one, two, three. That was my fourth carrier. Um, but it's just something about being a chief on board an aircraft carrier that experience in itself, chief and senior chief, but whatever. Being in the chief's mess on an aircraft carrier is like an unforgettable experience.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I love that. That's, and I don't want to call that a vanilla answer. I call it your answer because everybody
Yeah,
has beautiful and shitty and great and powerful and mundane experiences that we have, especially in the military. I would be a horrible liar if I said every experience was great.
right, right, right.
Especially not now being out and having my shoulders killing me all the time.
Yeah,
I had no
yeah,
idea what trying to be the best in my career field. I had no idea the physical detriment that I was gonna
yeah,
just eat. As soon as
yeah.
I get out, my shoulders are hurting, my knees, my back, from my falls. I fell over 15 feet once on and landed pretty much onto my back on and and so many times where I was young and dumb and full of cum, I was like, hey man, I'll figure it out. I'll just get up, I'll just get back up, and then I'll be sore the next day, and I'll be really sore the next day, and then it goes away for a couple years, and then bam, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate parts about our line of work. The Navy trains us to be that stupid and egomaniacal.
Hmm.
We're trained to suck it up. Like, but
Hmm.
no, you get free healthcare. Go fucking get checked.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, and especially if you won't want to be arguing with the fucking VA when you exit service. Like, go get checked. Hangnail, fucking root canal, whatever it is, go get checked. Slip disc, go get checked. So what if people think you're soft? You have health care, take advantage of it. A
And
pretty good health care plan.
oh yeah, oh yeah, it's like the Cadillac plan,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
really wish I would have done just what you said, because now here
Yeah.
I am in hindsight working with the Disabled Veterans of America Association and different organizations over here to make sure that I have to go back and validate with having people write letters of
Yeah.
what happened at this
Yeah.
occasion, because I remember every time I got messed up, and it's okay. I mean, I'll go through the process, but a lot of people don't have to, and that's why, especially this month, I'm talking about, and next month I'm going to be highlighting more and more um, of these veteran organizations and people who are working to help other veterans, whether
Right.
it's get a job or get into some housing if you've lost it all. Like I left for the Navy with nothing. It would have been nice to come back and say, hey, I need to get a fresh start. Help me land a job that'll help me with other jobs, blue collar work, whatever. And now in the elevator union with blue collar jobs, everything kind of works out, but it's
Right.
not the same for
Right.
everybody.
No.
Transitioning can be tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Uh, transition was a challenge for me also. I was excited. I made a conscious decision to leave when I did because I had another chapter of my journey that I needed to pursue and fulfill. Um, that I didn't get out bitter. I got out excited because I was having a blast in the Navy, but I had other business to tend to outside of the Navy. Um, I think somebody put it to me best. He said, "Man, you can be a great CMC, or you can be a great master distiller and distillery owner. You just can't do both simultaneously." So that put it in perspective for me. It's okay. I still want energy when I leave the service. I still want to wrestle. I got babies at the house. I still want to wrestle with my kids. I still want to make basketball games and field hockey games. I still want time with my children. And I also have a 19-year-old, and I missed a lot of birthdays and a lot of Christmases with all those deployments that were so awesome. Some unforgettable moments, and met some beautiful people along the way, befriended and people that I still look to as family because we developed those strong bonds in service. That comes at a cost, you know.
Yes.
It costs some memories with my oldest son that I won't ever be able to get back. Probably cost me, you know, a lot of time, a lot of stress, a lot of strain on my marriage, frankly, you know. So uh, as much fun as I had to make some other decisions because I had other stuff that I wanted to pursue in my personal life to ensure that my family is set up for the rest of our lives.
Amen, brother. Amen. I can definitely, tie a lot of different emotions to that because, um, Senior Chief retired now, Brontes said that something very similar. He said, "When it's time, it's time." Um, and he also preached regularly the best
Killer.
gift.
Moni was a trained killer, man. I
Oh,
love that dude.
he's the best. He is.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorite
yeah,
people in the world. He was
man.
traveling through here in Seattle, and I got an
Yeah,
opportunity to see him again. And wow, amazing full circle moment. Hugs. I was very emotional afterwards.
yeah,
Him telling me
yeah,
that I got out when I was, and it was meant to be. It was meant. I was
yeah.
meant to get out at a time.
Right, right.
And he said, if you stayed, you would have been the best at what you
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
but you might not have been the best you. And that, God,
That's powerful.
hit me like a
That's
ton of
powerful.
bricks.
Yeah,
And it also popped up today when I was listening to Tim Kennedy's book Scars and Stripes,
yeah,
and he spoke about um, when he wanted to be a professional fighter and that he was doing great in the special forces, kicking ass, taking names, tough
yeah.
deployments, and he talks about that in his book as well. But his one of his first ever team sergeants let him know that, hey, the Army, if you die tomorrow, they're not going to give a shit. They're just going to replace you. There's plenty of great guys in the special forces community, but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there's not a lot of time. You're not going to be young forever. Go pursue your dreams of being a fighter, and he did.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you got to roll the dice and trust
yeah.
yourself.
Listen, I've always been. My grandfather told me when I was 5 years old that I can do whatever the hell I want to do if I put my mind to it. I was stupid enough to believe him. Um, so I've always stepped out on faith, not because of faith in itself, but because I trust my hustle. Uh, I trust my work ethic. Yeah, faith and stars aligning is important too, but like none of that matters if you don't have the stick to itiveness and the work ethic and that strong intrinsic value that you believe that you can accomplish whatever it is that you're setting out to accomplish. None of that matters if you don't have that belief in yourself. Um, so yeah, I often tell people similar to what you just mentioned. Like I tell people all the time, man, look, you can be the best goddamn chief, senior chief, or master chief to ever walk the deck plate. When you leave, that bill is gonna pop, and your CMC gonna be arguing over to find your replacement. You're not going on like the deck plate Hall of Fame. No one will retire your jersey. Like you'll be replaced.
Yes.
Yes, you'll have a few memories, and people will still reach out and ask you to chop an eval every now and then. But like you have a life after the Navy, and you have to believe that. You
Amen.
don't get tied to the position. Uh, be blessed in the moment. Enjoy the moment. Fully engulf yourself in the moment. But understand that that is a position you're serving in. That is not you as a person. Don't get lost.
Yeah, definitely a lot of wisdom there, especially after, um, you know, having experiences with people who wore a different uniform than me. Every single khaki that I ran into served in the Navy in a different time frame, so they have a whole another generation before them and before them and before them. All their experience has been passed down. Be me getting having people send me pictures of me on an unrep station with Jason Wyatt
Yeah,
on an unrep
yeah,
station, and I'm in the BM manual now, and I'm like, what? So
yeah,
like
yeah,
that was weird to me.
yeah.
Having an impact on my sailors and having them listen to a podcast episode and call me from a different country and a different time zone, middle of the night, saying,
Right,
"Hey
right,
man, I'm having some tough time. I don't feel right. I don't want to get kicked out, but I feel like hurting myself. I don't know what to do. What do I
yeah,
do?"
yeah,
And
right,
me being like, well, first I'm gonna wipe the sleep out of my eyes. Then we go figure it out. Like,
right,
let's talk about.
right,
Let's just talk. What's
yeah,
going on?
right, right,
Having a lasting effect, a legacy of care, of
yeah,
mental fortitude, of doing what the hell you're told, no matter what. It sucks
right,
sometimes, but you
right.
got to do it. You have to
Got to
embrace
get it
this.
done.
Got
Right,
to
that's
get
what
it
we
done.
signed up for.
Mission first,
Yep,
and
yep.
that's something that stuck out to me. Like when my dad was having his last breath on this earth, I was on deployment, or I was sorry, you mean I was underway with the TR crew, and the chief's mess took me in. They didn't. They actually brought me down inside the chief mess,
So, yep,
sat down with me. You know, I got a bunch of hands on the shoulders. I guess everybody knew what was going on with me, and
yep,
they sent my family flowers. The chief mess did. You can't replace that type of care. People
yeah,
become your
yeah,
family. You have better bonds and everything. Everything is just phenomenal. Like you create you get the family you want in the Navy because you can always tell somebody to fuck off.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man. Like I said, I won't ever forget that. In fact, I had a similar experience probably about 2.5 hours ago. Sister I used to serve with, hadn't talked to her in like over 2.5 years. She texted me like, "Hey, can you talk?" And yeah, sure. She was like a first class back when I was like a senior chief, and it's like, "What's up? I haven't talked to her in years. How's it going?" Da da da. Go through all that stuff. She's like, "Yeah, well, like my CMC wants me to stand in for him." I was like, "Well, okay, but what are you calling me for?" Like, she's like, "Well, I don't know what to do." I was like, What do you what do you mean you don't know what to do? Like when have you not known what to do? You're a fucking senior chief. Like what are you talking about?
Mm.
I'm happy to hear your voice. Like it's been a while. Like grateful for the reconnection. But what are you calling me for? She's like, what are you saying? She's asking me, what are you saying? I'm like, look, you're capable. If you look in the mirror, you'll look and see a capable fucker on the other side of that. Like, you know that
Mm.
about you. Clearly, your CMC knows it about you because he's not going to have a shithead standing in for him in his absence. Uh, what are you calling me for? Then she goes into, well, how's your family? I'm like, great. Look, yeah, let's get to that. My family's great. Like, what you're built like. You know you can handle this. So, but uh, I was grateful for that conversation. One, because I hadn't talked to her in over 2 years. Two, I threatened her, told her she don't get her ass up here to come hang out at my distillery. We're gonna have a bigger problem. But but I was grateful for that connection. You know, those are people like uh, sailors don't really call me for advice and that type of back and forth banter anymore. Shop sister that she probably won't hang out as a scene chief too much longer. So I was telling her like embrace the moment, like ain't too many senior chiefs get to standing in for their CMC on the aircraft carrier. Like, embrace that,
You got
enjoy that,
five
love
thousand. You
that.
got 5,000 sailors. He could have picked
Come on,
anybody.
and you get to put some foot in a Master Chief's ass for a whole week.
Hmm.
Like,
Oh yeah.
enjoy that. That's gonna be a fun time.
Oh
But
yeah.
it was good. Like, I got to talk some Navy shit for that moment. I was happy about that.
Excellent. One thing that stood out to me about what you just said is that natural camaraderie that we develop within the military, and it's a
Yeah,
major contributing factor, in my opinion, based off of the other conversations that I've had on here and offline, because I spent all my time talking to people about their life
yeah,
experiences because I find them
right,
so interesting. I can learn something from anybody, even the dumb people. You know, they're all their dumb decisions that they keep remaking. I learn not
right,
to do that, and it's
right.
there's there's something that can be said about the importance of camaraderie between our enlisted men and women. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes even the officers. I hate to say it, some of the officers are great too. Mostly the Mustangs, but there's some good officers out there as well. And when they
absolutely.
put down the PowerPoint and get involved, learn something
Yeah,
about the people and that's usually the disconnect. We don't have a
right.
good connection with officers because they don't have a good connection with us on a personal level. And ESET, E9, even E9 and below can do that.
Yeah. Um, can we talk about that for a second? Because I hear that a lot.
100%.
Um, and that I saw it different. I, I always wanted the disconnect from the wardroom because that connection was my job,
Oh
and
yeah.
that is no disrespect to the officer corps. They have a very specific mission where like we don't rely on them as heavily as the Navy relies on the chief's mess to manage. Like we are the managerial level stuff. Like officers are expected to lead from a higher level. They rely on us to manage like the day to day personnel, civil issues, and things of that nature. So that provides them the latitude and the space to do what they need to do. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I appreciated the relationship with between the wardroom and the chief's mess. I always, especially as a CMC, When I was a young chief, like I was dumb and egotistical, and like I was always quick to tell you how stupid officers were and how smart we were. So far from the truth. Like I have been blessed to work with some amazing, brilliant officers. And there's anytime we didn't work well together, 95% of the time it was my fault. Um, I do think officers have a very specific value in the Navy, and I think we as enlisted men and women need to do a better job of respecting and acknowledging the value they bring to like mission execution and their role in overseeing that their aspect of their mission. So whether it be First Louis or like CSO or whoever it is, like it is them and XO and the boss. You know, like that direct chain when you're talking about facilitating action with respect to the mission. Um, it is us, the Chiefs mess, that have to manage like you about to get evicted from your house, and then Seaman so and so about to go to court for his third simple assault in 3 weeks. Like that's our job to handle that stuff. Like Chief, Senior Chief, Master Chief, fix that shit because we're getting underway in like 3 days. Like so, officers have a very specific role in the Navy. And I think and that's not to say I'm not speaking generally. Well, kind of I am. Excuse me. By and large, there are definitely some bad people who wear specific ranks. Uh, that being said, not talking about those people, I'm talking about the roles of the officer as opposed to senior enlisted. Very specific, different, and very different roles. We wardroom and the mess can do a better job at merging those personalities because most of the issues really are personal issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's ego ahead of like what should be done.
100%. I appreciate your perspective, and I can definitely see where you're 100% right in that. Thinking back, I remember looking at so many times where you know, Ramundi or anybody else would walk up. Oh,
Yeah,
this is my lane. That's your lane. Go
yeah,
to your lane because
right.
somebody's trying to overstep because they want to feel
Yeah,
respected instead
yeah,
of earning respect,
yeah,
and vice versa. I've seen some young chiefs that that want to talk shit
yeah,
about to their sailors and be divisive and
yeah,
mix up and divide the ranks to make
yeah.
them feel supported when it's definitely a self-conscious issues.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, I think we can get better as a service with that stuff, man. Like work to create a better working relationship between the enlisted and officer ranks.
100%. I
It's
completely
like
agree.
playing your role.
Are you thinking about making a podcast? Spotify has a platform that lets you make one, and if I can figure it out, you definitely can too. You can create your own content all in one place for free with zero hangups and even earn money as soon as you get started. Spotify lets you record and edit episodes from your phone or computer so you can go mobile, just like I enjoy to do. My favorite thing about it is that you can create video episodes if you wish and upload them to wherever podcasts are heard. You can even set up subscriptions, or if you're like me, listener support options for listeners to help you grow. I 10 out of 10 recommend the Spotify for Podcasters app. Or, why don't you just step over to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your own podcast.
Yes. Like I'm thinking back about great officers. One thing will always stand out to me about the word officer, the office, but there's also another part that's going to stand out. There's nothing funnier at all than when we were in Bahrain and Suppo dove for his ID card into the water off the brow. What the hell? He could have hit the barge. He could have been out forever. Like as soon as you get knocked out and splash out, you're done.
Suppo was a different breed, man. I won't ever forget that. He called it on the scenes like man in the water, grab the ID, come right back, man out of the water.
I was on duty, so I was like man overboard. Like no one knew what to do. The officer of the deck was just like, call it man overboard. So I'm sprinting across the place because I'm like the man overboard response team on duty. Like, I'm gonna show up in to paint the side of the ship, that little pup boat. That's what I'm gonna pull up in. So I just grab a life jacket and I jump like 10 feet down onto the barge, land really hard, and I see this guy getting out of the water, and I'm like,
are we secure?
So I start cussing him out. I'm like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? You could have hit this barge and died.
Right.
And he's like, I dropped my ID card. Gets back up. Oh, it was too much. It was too much, man. Oh Lord.
Oh man.
The things people do when they start drinking, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Seppo could have been sober, and like he does some pretty. Seppo was a different breed, man. He was funnier than shit, man. But another one, ridiculously intelligent, man. But just a
Yeah.
fucking weird joker, man.
Oh man, that's priceless. I mean,
Yeah,
he got his ID card back. I don't want to have them make a new one of that shit. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah,
I get it. Like
yeah,
when I start drinking, I really think about it like a lot,
yeah,
like all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Would I jump in the water? And I'll probably say yes 99% of the time. So,
Yeah, right, right.
oh man, what are some of your other favorite moments from the 2015 legendary deployment?
Legendary deployment, man. We had some real good times on that deployment. I loved. I miss my crew from that deployment, man. I'm blessed to be able to stay connected with most of them. They through social media, and we text from time to time to watch, because those are like my babies.
Mm.
So I get to watch them uh, grow into like first classes and chiefs now, and that is the weirdest shit ever to me. It's like, no, you're my baby. You're not a fucking chief. Like, stop. What's going on here? So I get to watch the progression in their naval careers. So that's amazing for me. But I do miss my crew. Like, we started off young and green, all of us. Um, I don't know if many people know this. During that deployment, uh, I was I went from I was relatively young chief, but I was a departmental chief, being as young as I was. So our entire department, that was we were pretty green. Like, that was my first time as a DLCPO. That was my department head's first time riding a ship ever. My Divo, I don't know if you remember Jack Georges, but that was his first time on board an aircraft carrier also. Like, our entire team, for the exception of my div chief, Adrian Melendez, great brother, missed that boy too, man, great dude. Because Adrian had, I think, 3 carriers previously under his belt, so he really had more experience than all of us. But we were all collectively relatively new. But as much experience as he had, he was a brand new chief. Like, he hadn't even been the chief a whole year. He hadn't been the chief a whole 3 months when I got there. So we were all like babies trying to figure this shit out. So we went from like trying to figuring it out to like crushing it by the end of deployment. Like, so I appreciate like the strain and the pain and the trajectory we set off on, and how we landed. Like, that was
Excellent.
beautiful to me.
100%. I'm looking back at my deployment pictures right now, and I'm finding all these people that stand out to me. Uh, Chief Jamal Williams, right?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many in here that ASCS Jimenez.
Him,
God.
yeah. So I
Oh,
just saw him. Probably about 5 months ago down here in Pax River. Yeah, yeah. Good
excellent,
brother.
excellent. Yes,
Yeah,
there's so many amazing people, and I use the word amazing. Like it literally amazed me to see this is what's around the rest of the states and the countries, and it really makes me, it like renewed my passion in our country, because at home we hear, oh, America's this, America's that. America's me, America's my neighbors, America's the men and women who've served before me, will serving after me, serving longer than me, with me, people that have taken their own life, people who have died in combat. That is America, and the people back home. um
yeah,
the
yeah,
series service and sacrifice, we often talk about what service
yeah,
is. Service is our part. Sacrifice is usually on the family's part. They give up everything. They give up us. There's a piece of their heart missing. And
yeah, yeah.
I could see all the beautiful families in the eyes of the people that were serving with me. And
Amen, brother.
so this guy had, I could tell who the dads were for sure,
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
get the most emotional thinking about
yeah,
their kids. Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah. Fun time, man. Fun time. We locked arms and we got shit done.
Hmm.
Um, that's what I miss. Uh, didn't matter what it was, how tough it was. Like, we figured shit out.
Hmm.
I
Absolutely.
attribute all that I have been blessed to accomplish thus far, post Navy. I attribute that to my experiences in the Navy. Like, those experiences taught me how to like navigate tough terrain, uh, and not turn around and go back. Like the Navy taught me how to be strong, and develop that level of stick to itiveness. You know.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a huge issue facing our United States military and our veteran community right now. Obviously, it's no
Yeah.
secret. There's a statistic out there. They say 22 a day.
Yeah.
There's we lost a lot of sailors from the Roosevelt crew to it, sadly, um, and throughout people that I've also run into throughout the military. So
Right.
from different commands and stuff like that. And there is something that I believe can be done, right? But it automatically makes me think of immediately taking care of yourself post the military. You know,
Yeah.
we have a sent this word, and it's really really important, and I don't think it's said enough. It's called purpose. We don't know our purpose a lot of times when we are without our heading. You know, if I was using nautical terms, so we leave the military and we're told, hey, this is what you do, blah blah. You show up to this time, you just follow, 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 follow. You get used to having a heading, a purpose. You're a part of
Yeah.
this. When people get blown up overseas for being terrorist bitches, you're a part of that, even if you move boxes, you know.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
we're here with no purpose.
Right.
What was the
Right.
purpose that you found leaving the military?
Um. So I'm glad you talk about that. Like, you have to know who you are as a person, regardless of the rank you wear. Um, what I was finding from my friends that had transitioned before me, when they were struggling the way they were struggling, um, it's like, man, like I'm not a command master chief anymore. Like, what do I do? Oh, it's different. Like people talk different. People are like, I want to kill this son of a bitch because he did X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, like I can't deal with the civilian stuff. It's like, well, you knew 30 years ago, or however long you spent in the Navy, that the Navy isn't up for everything. Um, and as much as we preach to our sailors about leaning forward, thinking ahead, and planning properly, uh, we are horrible at that. Like because we are afraid to adjust to this new thing. Not escaping the fact that we adjust to new shit every 3 to 4 years when we rotate from platform to platform or duty station to duty station. We are scared to transfer and take this uniform off because we are afraid to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, this is who I am as a person. But we are afraid to just be who we are outside of that uniform. Now, the uniform gives you, it's okay, you beat on your chest. Deck plate leader, I can stomp around and, take out that trash. Get your fucking hands out of your pockets. I can knife hand people and gives me purpose. And I got some juice. Um, but that's not who you are as a person. Those people don't respect you as a person. They respect the position that you're currently serving in. And you know that inside. That is why you're afraid because you won't get that same engagement from people once you take that uniform off. If you're not a genuine person. Uh, so I say that to say part of what I was able to identify early on in my service, and I was blessed to be able to do so. Um, don't I never got fully consumed in whatever rank or position I was serving in. I understood it was a position I was serving in. It was not me as a person. Yes, I was a chief petty officer, and I loved every fucking minute of being a Navy chief. Most beautiful, most exclusive fraternity that ever set foot on earth. But that fraternity is nothing without the people. That rank that we wear as chiefs, senior chiefs, master chiefs does not exist without the person donning said rank. Uh, I was able to understand that before I exited service. Now, as I got closer to exit, my nerves got shitty, and I was like, "Well, wait, I won't have these people to do these things. Like it's different. I can't delegate tasking now, and I don't. People don't like talk to me the same way. They treat me like an average shit dick walking up and down the street. No one. I don't get that whole command master chief aura now. Then I had to put myself in check. It's like, wait, is that what you did all of this for? Like, is that really what your purpose in serving in this capacity was? So you could like feed your ego? And then a few conversations with the therapist also. She's like, look, you're going to be fine. Like you, and she put it in perspective, like you are a person uh, carrying this rank and serving in said capacity. If you are genuine to what you did in uniform, you will continue that service out of uniform, just in a different capacity. So when she gave me that perspective, that's when I kind of calmed down a little bit. Granted, I was a CMC of a test and evaluation squadron, so I had a few people under my charge. I have a staff of 3 now. So, but as funny as that sound, it sounds like I went from here to here. But like, I don't update NSIPs. I don't bitch at people for incomplete NKO courses. I don't fuck with DTS. There's a bunch of stuff in the Navy that I am happy to do without.
No more PowerPoints
and-
unless you want to.
Unless I want to, right? God forbid any of my people that work for me now, if they go out and get a DUI tonight, God forbid, that's their problem. Like
Mhm.
they go to court, they'll send me a text and tell me they can't make it to work, and like I'll shift, brother, and adjust. I don't have to go get them out of jail.
That's right.
So I don't have to wake up on a Saturday night when my wife and I try to enjoy ourselves and like, tend to a phone call because like some chief or senior chief is beating on his or her life partner.
Mm,
I don't have to field those phone calls anymore.
100%.
So that's beautiful. I don't have a duty phone anymore. It takes a while to adjust to that. It's like I should be doing something right now, but like no, it's okay to not be doing anything right now,
Mhm.
and it's beautiful.
Yes, and you could. I realized that obviously once you leave the military, or even when you join the military, you appreciate time. Time is, wow, how much more precious it gets. How
Yeah.
much more precious me time is.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time isolated. I was a geo bachelor, but now like the moments with my wife, when I see her face when she walks in my house,
Yeah, yeah,
my heart just sinks. I'm able to breathe and kind of relax. I'm still learning
right,
this whole relax thing because I get so antsy and I always want to do something. What's next? What's next? What do we do next? How do we do next? But
right,
I can't
right,
get off the track and just slow it on down.
right, right.
Appreciate where you're at and be in the moment is
Yeah,
something that I've learned over the course of, I've been out now 6 years. So
right.
I think
Yeah,
this transition thing is still kind of going on for me because I have my moments where I'll wake up and I'll and my ears are just ringing with tinnitus, and I'm gonna try to figure out what how do I how did I become this? How did I become
yeah,
this thing with
yeah,
ringing ears?
yeah,
That's a mess. It is a
yeah.
mess,
It
but
is.
there's so much more beauty in the moments where I'm not.
Right,
Without suffering, we can't have appreciation.
right.
Without death, we won't appreciate life. Everything is a balance. And purpose, I think I think I'm still finding my purpose. I'm still working on it, but I know it has to do with helping other people in my free time. And like right now,
Yeah,
I'm spending my free time, and people are gonna hear this and say, "Holy shit, what's my purpose?" Oh, maybe I invested too much emotionally and mentally in the uniform I was wearing instead of the person I was. I don't know who I am. Uh-oh.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right. That's important.
Mhm.
Um, that's why I was okay to retire when I did. Like I was blessed to make Master Chief relatively fast in my career. And it's just expected. You made it super fast. You can go up to 32. Like, but no, I don't really want to do that. Like, I
Yeah.
can't. And as much as I loved serving, and I honestly, genuinely miss a lot of different aspects of my job serving as a
Mhm.
Command Master Chief. Even if I never made it into the CMC community, I enjoyed serving in the Navy. Like, it's just a beautiful thing, right? Um, Separate from that, I was totally satisfied with leaving when I did because I knew my purpose was much bigger than being a Command Master Chief in the Navy. And I don't say that with any disrespect to the CMC community. Like I got the utmost respect for the community. I was blessed to be able to serve in said capacity. Uh, but my purpose, my calling was with respect to that CMC community, that was just a chapter in the book.
There's always chapters, and with the book of life, you don't want to turn the next page and realize, wow, I missed everything.
Yeah,
We still
yeah,
have a chance as like as a future father. My biggest
yeah.
concern for me with the idea of relisting was
Time out, future father.
future father. Yes, we plan on having kids in the next year. So
Okay,
I
so not yet, not expecting at the moment.
not expecting at the moment.
Okay,
Nah.
I got you. Okay, I wanted to make sure I understood you correct.
Okay, yeah, I would say I
I
almost
look
slipped
at
up.
you as one of my
So
babies too. I was like, man, you can't be making babies just yet.
we want to make sure everything's financially good. I was out of work for 6 months, so
Okay.
put a dent in my savings and all these
Yeah.
things, and I will not raise a
Yeah.
child in poverty. Absolutely not.
Totally understand. Totally understand.
There's enough of that. Like there's
Yeah.
enough there's enough poverty, and
No need to
growing up
contribute to it.
growing up nervous about money is not fun for me either, because now
Right.
I'll get anxiety if I don't have a couple racks in just in case, because car
Yeah.
expenses and
Yeah.
whatever, right? So
Right.
cars always breaking. It's not like a ship. A ship was super strong.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh
Excuse me.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man, I just have to find my purpose, and I think that if a lot of different veterans really looked past the uniform that we wear, because when we take it off, we have an issue with identity. It's an
Yeah.
identity crisis. It
Yeah.
is. We do not know who we are a lot of times, and when we find that, you'll be much happier. You sleep better. You'll eat.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
appreciate how great is water that doesn't look like it's full of powder, right?
Right. 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 Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful though. Beautiful. Grateful for the journey also.
Grateful for
Like you
the
say,
journey.
without strife, like you couldn't appreciate like your achievement.
100%. 100%. So now you're running the Copper Compass. It's a tongue twister for sure. Copper Compass Craft Distilling Company, right? How did you come up
Fact,
with
yeah.
the name?
So copper, because that's an ode to the traditional pot distilling method,
Mhm.
and compass because I wanted to have a nautical tie. I'm a sailor inside and out.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I was born like this, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But so my cousin and I are on a project together. Her name's April. She's a pediatric dentist. So her and I started out back in 2017, uh, building this out, describing it out, like business plan and strategize and things like that. We didn't actually move into the facility until 2019. Um, Thereafter, it took us a little over 3 years to open up and build out and open, like setback after setback. Pandemic shut us down. Our general contractor died of COVID, so we had to pause the project and find a new general contractor. General contractors wouldn't just come naturally pick up the job because it's like, man, I don't know what he did before
Mhm.
me. I'm not picking that up. So we had to go through that. That shut us down for about 9 months. Found a new GC. Um, Worked through all of those challenges, and so that was in 2019 when we moved in here. We just opened November 18th of 22.
Yeah,
Uh,
a long time coming, but it's a much needed congratulations, because when you persevere through the tough times, the pain is worth it. The pain turns to
Absolutely,
pride. It turns
absolutely.
right into pride. You're proud
Yeah,
of who you are. You're proud of the effort you put in. You're proud of every moment where you faced strife and said, "I'm not going to give up because this is my
yeah,
path."
yeah. Listen, I learned so much aside from like craft distillation. I learned so much about construction, and I kid all the time. And I like, look, if I can't sell a bottle of hooch, I'm gonna be the most kick-ass general contractor that ever walked the face of the earth. Like, I know how to plumb shit. I know how to run wire. Like, I can get it done.
Mhm.
Like, I, we did a lot of this work in here ourselves. Like, I built a bar myself. I went and collected wood, like broke down a barn over 100 years old, and collected the wood from this reclaimed wood off this barn. I went and planed all this wood and cut it into 3-inch planks. I went and aligned it on my bar, built the bar up, wrapped it in brand new corrugated metal, but I had to strip the metal of its natural sheen. So I had to spray it down with muriatic acid so I can get it to rust out. I affixed all of the wood to the bar top, epoxied over it. Like we built that bar by hand from scratch. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, I'm real proud of that, man. Very proud of not just the bar itself, but the work that April and I put into making this place happen. Um, we did. We went through some stuff. I'm happy to be here. And what's funny is as you probably hear me talking like, oh wow, you did it. Like once we got to this point, Now we have the uphill battle of climbing out of debt. Like it's,
Uh-huh.
it's a different chapter now. Like we don't have time to celebrate. Like everyone else is like, oh, you did it, congrats. Like, no, fuck, we got bills Monday. Like it's the first. Like we got to,
Yeah.
oh shit, we got to start paying taxes now. Different kind of tax now. Like
Yeah, don't say congratulations. Buy a bottle, buy a case,
right.
buy
If you,
show up, show up.
if
Just
you really
experience it,
mean
talk
what you
about
say
it.
when you say congratulations, come out here and hang out at the bar,
Oh
or
yeah.
buy a bottle when it hits your liquor store.
100%, 100%, and
Yeah,
that's something I'm looking forward to as well. I got to find my. I was telling my buddy today, Colin, he was in the army. I'm like, hey man, I got a vet open up his distilling company, so you're gonna have to quit whatever you're drinking and change it up because it is what it is.
absolutely,
Don't say a word. It
absolutely.
is what. He's like, I don't even drink that much. Yes, you do. Yes, you
Yeah,
do. I know you do. So come on.
yeah, yeah. Um, Fun time, man. Fun time. So tough work, hard work. I work no shit. In 23 years in the Navy, I've done some pretty tough shit. I know I've actually been over in the dirt, been shot at a few times, but this is indeed the toughest thing I've ever had to do in my life is build a fucking distillery. Um, I look at myself in the mirror every day. I'm like, man, you got to be the dumbest son of a bitch to ever walk the face of the earth. Like, why would you, why would you do some shit like this? But I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful moment when my family, my kids get to run around here. Like this is theirs. Uh, and it'll one day be there. So I'm extremely proud of that.
What? That's a full circle moment. One day you're I'm pretty sure your son's gonna be like, oh yeah, Dad, why don't you go ahead and retire? I'll run the books. I got
Yeah,
this. I got this.
yeah. This is actually this past holiday season when he was home. He's a freshman up at Delaware State. My oldest is a freshman up at Delaware State, and he called me. He's like, Dad, I want to come work for you over, the holiday. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, fuck yeah. But to him, I'm like, listen, let me tell you how it is. Like, you can get up, go to work on time. You gonna do this. We don't play that shit at work. Like, give him the
Yeah.
rundown. But I was no shit. I was honored to have my oldest son like come hang out beside me while I make hooch and make shit happen. That was a beautiful moment for me.
Yeah, definitely. It also has to be extremely emotional to see your son aspire to do something that you have a love for. You have skill.
Absolutely.
You develop those skills over a course of years. It doesn't
Yeah.
just show up out of it. Hey, I'm pretty sure if I went and tried to make alcohol, it would taste a lot like water because I'd give up because I have no idea, right? Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
fun
so
though,
what's
man.
Yeah, brother, absolutely. So what's the future looking like for you? Getting the bottles out. I know that there's comes a lot of government heat and
Yeah.
issues with, rolling stuff out.
I'll grab a bottle if you don't mind. One
Yeah,
quick
please
second.
do.
So this is our bottle, in case you haven't seen it yet. But this is my platinum product,
Hmm.
and it has so platinum is like liken it to like silver rum.
Mm,
And so we have three different products right now. I have the um, platinum rum. I have coconut rum, and what we identify as whiskey barrel spice rum. I do 7 different spices in the whiskey barrel spice rum, but I also disassemble an actual whiskey barrel and drop the staves in the distillate also, and allow that to rest inside the distillate, so it actually finishes with a slight whiskey hue, in concert with the 7 different spices we use. We use allspice, black pepper, cinnamon, dry ginger, dry orange peel, star anise, clove, and vanilla, pure vanilla.
wow.
So combine those, and that's the flavoring agent for our whiskey barrel spice. In addition to the staves, that's actually our best-selling product right now.
I can tell
Um,
why. I'm sitting
yeah,
over here trying to figure.
it's good, man. It's good. And if you ever make it out to my bar, I do a rum base um, old fashioned.
Ooh,
And all of the whiskey purveyors, oh, it's not an old fashioned, you're stupid. But they end up buying like 5 or 6 when they sit at the bar. Um,
yeah.
but I make it with my whiskey barrel spiced rum, and we also make our simple syrup right here in the house. So I do a hibiscus simple syrup, and we also dehydrate all of our own fruits right here in the house also. So I garnish it with dehydrated orange and Luxardo cherry.
Wow.
Man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's I could smell it from here, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. And I smoke it too. So I use hickory chips to do smoke all my old fashions.
All right. Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
playing around. You're not playing around.
I mean,
That's some serious stuff.
yeah, man. It's a craft bar. I want you to have a unique experience that you won't ever get anywhere else. You won't get you a $3 section on the beach around here. You gonna get some stuff
That's what
that
the
here,
wineries
man.
over here do. Yeah, over here
Exactly.
in the up in the it's like one of the most greatest spots for growing crops in Washington State up
Yep.
here. And
Yep.
wow, the wineries they want you to have a unique experience as well. So you
Yep.
definitely have you definitely got all your ducks in a row. You
Yep.
dotted the i's and crossed the t's, and wow, yeah, you're not playing
Yeah,
around.
man. So, and full with respect to the journey and the process, man, it is not just me. I am not the sole brainchild around here. My cousin April and I, we do a lot of back and forth crosstalk, and I won't say this to her face, but she's way smarter than me when it comes to like brainstorming new ideas. So she helps out a lot too. Good to
Excellent.
have contrasted vantage points, you know?
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Different perspective is great. You've provided a
Absolutely.
bunch of perspective on this podcast so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, my final question, kind of wrapping things up here, was the phrase. So the phrase "service and sacrifice." I try to really nail this part and make sure I ask it every time. But service and sacrifice means so many different things to different people. The word service, the word sacrifice. What does it personally mean to you?
Service, service and sacrifice. Um, Service means it's never about you, uh, regardless of the position. You're doing this for something or someone else. Uh, Something else being a greater cause, someone else, obviously other than yourself. But that comes at a cost. You know, nothing is free. You'll pay for something, and what you pay for is equivalent to the sacrifice you endure, that you're taking on, that you're accepting as a result of the service that you're rendering. Um, we sacrifice a lot as service members, but bigger than the sacrifice that we take on or endure, it's our families. They take on a way bigger sacrifice. Our kids are proud of what we do as service members, but we're absent, no matter how proud they are. Um, we're absent a lot. They didn't ask for this. Our spouses didn't ask for this lifestyle. They understand it. They accept it out of love and pure loyalty to us and the union itself, right? But they're sacrificing a lot. No, as a man, you go out and find you a wife, someone, a life partner to, go do life with. She wasn't 6 years old hoping to marry a service member and spend months and months and months without him. We asked them to do some pretty heavy shit. Um, and they do it proudly, but it's fucking exhausting. Uh, so when you ask me about sacrifice, first thing I think about is my wife and her um, what she sacrificed as a result of my career choices to serve our country.
Damn. That really makes me think, man. And wow, that really makes me try to reevaluate the approach and the thought process that comes with how I look at my time and the things that my wife dealt with. Like she was obviously a phenomenal woman. Like we're still together, and so because I keep begging her to stay.
Right,
And
right, 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 right. Of
wow,
course.
she was there. She was there so many times for me. She held my father's arm and in his hand in the hospital for 3 days. She stayed there
Yeah,
just
yeah,
while he passed while I was away. And
right.
that's a significant emotional and mentally uh it can be a mentally crippling thing, but she uh persevered in the situation and was there for me. And I asked her, why would you put yourself through that? She said, because you would have done it for me. And that type of love that doesn't just get drawn up. That's the type of stuff that gets drawn up in Disney movies.
Come on, right,
So
right.
wow. And what you talk about when you say, the sacrifice, it does come at a cost to us, but wow, the cost to our families is something that can't be It
Yeah.
can't be replaced. And it's
Right.
something that I don't think they get enough appreciation for. So you gave me the exact answer that I hope to receive from most people, which is
Yeah.
my family gave up so much just so I could be one little piece of this puzzle we call the military.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, I do appreciate your time this evening. I know it's getting late over there, brother, and you got a bunch of stuff going on. So, one, I want to tell you congratulations on your successful transition out of the military because you are absolutely rocking it. I can't wait to start buying up all your liquor when I have a bar downstairs, so I'm gonna start stocking the shelves with it because something you provide is different. It's very different,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
want, and if I am in an area, I am gonna stop by because I need to.
Look, we'll in about another week and a half, I will begin online sales where I can legally ship cross country. So you'll be able to go online and buy whatever you want.
Excellent.
Uh,
Well, my
I
friends are gonna be
just
buying it.
I can't wait, man. That makes me feel so good. I appreciate you. Thank you in advance, and thank you for just talking about it, man. I appreciate this love and support. If I could take a minute to talk to you for a second, because you were I watched you as a young boatswain mate on board that warship, and you were probably one of the most squared away, probably one of the most professional young sailors that I'd ever run across. Which was during that time was an anomaly because like young sailors aren't exactly the most squared away. Sometimes um, you were the complete opposite, man. You were professional, you were motivated, and you were a hard worker. I appreciated watching you. I appreciated the opportunity to serve alongside you. And I'm even more appreciative to see your growth and your transition out of the service. Um, I'm also proud of the fact that you made a conscious decision to say, look, it is time for me to go and do something else. Not better, not worse, but it is time for you to go put yourself into something else and be purposeful somewhere else. So maybe you don't see your purpose as maybe you're not as fulfilled as you would like to be at the moment. But I'm damn proud of you personally. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that before we left here.
Wow. Thank you so much for saying that. I didn't know I was gonna get all most of those stuff. Wow. It means the world to me that you said that. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I never ever it's one of my biggest faults. I never ever give myself a pat on the back. And sometimes you hear it at the right time. And I definitely needed to hear that. More so since I have been out because you lose that camaraderie and part of this reconnecting with you, I'm also reconnecting with a part of myself.
Absolutely.
I never look back and say, oh, this was who I was back then, but
Yeah.
you were reminding me of who I used to be and how it portrays and how it kind of came together as a foundation for who I am today. So I definitely appreciate you reminding me of who I am, and I even appreciate even more so your words of kind appreciation for what I do now and encouragement because it means wow, completely overwhelming, man, to be talked about like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the reconnection. I appreciate it. Always happy to help in whatever way I can. Uh, be in touch, man. Be in touch.
I absolutely will, brother, and I'll definitely be calling you to congratulate you next week when your sales go up because I'm gonna buy me some cases. Much love to you and your family. Thank you so much for taking your time to do this, and thank you to all my listeners. This has been another episode of Off the Deep End Podcast. As always, I'm your host Eddie. Today we were met with Herb Banks, and I'm so excited because this is a success story, a Navy success story. He has not given up on his dreams. He's actually pursued them, and that is exactly the type of thing I want to put out to the world on this. Be on the lookout because I'm going to put the link to his website in the description. Make sure you get yourself some of them. Get some of that. Ooh, the spiced rum, 7 spices. Oh God, I can't even get over it. That's it, man. That's a wrap. Thank you for all for listening.
Hey, go like and follow our page too if you can at Copper Compass Distilling on Facebook and Instagram, please. At
100%.
Copper Compass Distilling.
I'll make sure to put the link in the description. All right, y'all. I'm done with y'all. I'm gonna talk to him now. Bye.